Hi, my name is Suzanne Dagger, and I work at the Hofstra University Career Center. Today we're going to be talking about salaries and negotiation know-how, quite a challenging topic for most job seekers. So let's talk about what is a job offer. A job offer is much, much more than the salary. It's really a complete package, everything from vacation time to retirement plans to where are you going to be working. One of the first questions that you might get asked either during the interview process or soon thereafter is, what is your salary expectation? This is a question that really throws a lot of people and they're unclear as to how they should answer it. You really have two options. One is be vague. You could let them know, well, based upon my prior experiences, I really feel that my expectations are in line with industry standards. However, most employers really might not be happy with that approach and they may press you for a more exact number. It's my advice not to give an exact number. Give a small range. You don't want to pick something too low or too high. You want to be reasonable with your range. We suggest a $5,000 to $7,000 range for an entry-level position. So you can say something like, well, based upon my prior internship experience and knowledge of the field, I'm really hoping for something between $40,000 and $45,000. Try and avoid giving an exact number. Now, before you can do this, it's really important that you know what type of salary you can expect. You must do your research. You can ask the staff at the Career Center. You can ask people in the field what an entry-level position might offer. But you can also use some online resources like the Occupational Outlook Handbook or websites like salary.com where you can get a free salary calculator based upon the location and job type. Okay, so now let's say that you got a job offer. Congratulations. This is a great moment. Now it is said that you have the power. All along the employer had the power during that interview process and now the power has shifted into your hands. So what do you do? Well, it's important to say thank you, and it's also important to get a sense of what the complete benefits package is. You never want to accept a job without knowing the complete benefits package. So ask them about it before saying yes or no. And don't be surprised if they have someone from the Human Resources Department get back to you with the complete package. When speaking to whoever that might be, clarify the offer. Find out exactly what the annual salary will be and make sure that it is an annual salary. Find out if there's commission involved, especially if it's a sales position, and what that exact commission policy is. You may also want to clarify about your salary review, your performance review. Sometimes that happens 6 months after employment. Sometimes it doesn't happen for a year afterwards. And this is a crucial piece to negotiating further down the line. You also want to get a sense of the benefits. What's your sick time? What's the vacation time? Is there insurance? What type of retirement plan, like a 401k, do they offer? And when do all these things kick in? Some employers offer it immediately on the first day of employment, and other employers have probationary periods where they make you work for several months at a time before it kicks in. So this is very important when making your decision. Also clarify, where are you going to be working? The location. Many employers have different offices and you want to make sure which one they expect you to work at. Another part of the offer is the start date. When will you actually start work? And then if this job requires you to relocate, are they going to be offering you any type of relocation compensation? So now again, you have the power. Let's talk about when you make your decision. Do you have to do it right then and there on the phone? And the answer is no, you don't. You can ask for some time. So what you might want to say is, well, I'm very excited about this position. However, I have several more interviews scheduled over the next few days. Could I have till X to make my decision? Or you might say something simple like, I'd like an opportunity to discuss this with my family. This is a big decision for me. Can I have until X to make my decision? The most you should ask for is several weeks. Typically, it's a few days. That's the norm. But you can ask for several weeks depending on the situation at hand. Now, when you're negotiating the timing of the decision, it's important to remember that if you decide to negotiate on salary or anything else, that you do that within a few days of receiving the initial offer. So for instance, let's say you had asked for 2 weeks to get back to them within 2 weeks, and then you hang up the phone and you discuss it with your family and you say, you know what, I really want to try and get some more out of the salary. You should not wait the full 2 weeks to pick up the phone and start the negotiation. You should do so within a few days. It's professional courtesy to do that. You also need to be prepared that when going forward with negotiating, that you need to be able to make your decision right then and there. So once you start negotiating, they're going to expect that you make that decision right then and there on the phone versus hanging up the phone and waiting that full 2 weeks to get back to them. So now let's talk about the actual pieces of that compensation package that you can negotiate. The first and the one that most people negotiate on is salary, and we're going to focus mostly on that today. Many employers expect that you will negotiate on salary. It actually shows some business savviness on your part if you try and negotiate. Please keep in mind, though, that for entry-level positions, employers rarely negotiate beyond 10% of the base salary. So you do want to be reasonable with your expectations. And most employers are a little reluctant to negotiate on entry-level positions because they have no real knowledge of how you're going to perform on the job. Also, it's important to know that some salaries are non-negotiable. For instance, if you're going to be working in public school districts or in government positions, there's very little room for negotiation. Other factors that can be negotiated in your package would include the location, the starting date, the timing of your performance review, bonuses, year-end bonuses, or even your relocation expenses. So how do you go about negotiating? And again, we're going to focus on the salary. Well, after, I would say, a day or two of getting that initial offer, it's time to pick up the phone and start that negotiation. And here's some sample language. After doing some research and discussing it with my Career Center staff on campus, I believe that the salary offer you're extending me is a little low compared to someone with similar job experiences or academic experiences. Is there anything we can do to adjust this offer? Or if you have an offer from another company and you're balancing two offers, you could say something like, I wanted to let you know that I've received an offer from one of your competitors for X amount of dollars. However, I was really impressed with your firm, and I'd love to come work for you. However, this other offer is quite enticing. Is there anything that can be done to match this other offer? The best case scenario at that point is that the employer will directly counter offer over the telephone. If they do and they extend you a certain salary over the telephone at that point, you need to make your decision right then and there. The next best case scenario is the employer says, well, I'm not in a position to make that decision, I'll have to get back to you. And then the third scenario is they say, unfortunately, no, this is a fixed salary and there's nothing that can be done about it. That's the key for you to try and start negotiating on all those other factors. You may want to pick one other factor from that list that we mentioned earlier to try and negotiate on. Now you're in a position to accept an offer. Congratulations. You really want to try and do this immediately over the telephone. You don't want to ask for more time to think things over. At this point, you want to ask the employer if they'll be sending you an offer letter. An offer letter is when the employer states the details of the offer, the salary, the start date, the benefits, etc. You want to sign this and you want to send it back to the employer. If the employer does not offer an offer letter, if they don't do that, it's not part of their policy, that's okay. You can write an offer letter or your impression of what the offer was. So you want to write them a letter stating your knowledge of what was discussed over the phone and send it back to them. And you want to treat this as a contract. So you can no longer go on any more interviews. You are now beholden to that employer. Negotiating is very difficult and it's a little challenging, and especially your first time out there, it can be quite stressful. So please seek guidance. That is why the Career Center is here to help you. So please make an appointment or call or stop in during our quick question hours and we'll be happy to help you. Thank you.